What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in to Late Hoops. Today's video, we're going to be doing a recap on this Nuggets and Clippers game. Now, normally I would not do a recap on a game this far apart. Obviously, with the final score being 122-91, the Nuggets stomped them, and they were actually up by 40 at one point. But there is a lot of things I want to say about the Nuggets and a few key things I want to say about the Clippers. And I just feel like this is an important game because this is a potential playoff matchup come postseason. And the Nuggets, they won this game without playing their starters more than 25 minutes. And it was just really an incredible win at home for them. But before we get into this video talking about the Nuggets and the Clippers, I just want you guys to go to the comments right now and leave your hot takes. The next video I'm going to be posting is a hot takes video. So if you guys want to be featured on that, please be sure to leave your hot takes in the comments below. Without further ado, let's get started talking about this video with the Denver Nuggets. First and foremost, Jamal Murray was on fire to start this game. He scored 13 of his 18 points in the first quarter, and they were actually all in a row. He went on his own 13-0 run as the cold Clippers could not buy a bucket. He ended with a stat line of only 18 points, 4 assists, and 1 rebound, and this was in only 21 minutes. He was pulled so quick, and Coach Mike Malone said that Jamal's not playing in any back-to-backs this year, obviously because he's coming off that crazy knee injury, and he just needs the time to rehab and kind of get his footing back. But a game like this, if you're a Nuggets fan, you have to be super happy because the Nuggets team defense has looked the best it's looked all year, and I think that stems mainly from them actually being healthy. I mean, they blew the Clippers out tonight, and Jokic only scored 12 points, which brings me to my second point. Something I really like to see out of the Nuggets tonight is that a lot of players, Aaron Gordon in specific, are adopting Jokic-like tendencies. Even these new guys that are new in the system, like Bruce Brown that they just acquired in the offseason from the Nets, they signed him, making the extra pass, they're moving in transition, and they're being patient when setting up the offense and getting into these offensive sets. It's really nice to see that not only they're balling out on offense, but on defense, they're keeping their poise. There was some good blocks from the Clippers in the beginning of this game, and they were trying to keep it close, but it did not matter. The Nuggets are just such a team-oriented basketball club, and they are so much fun. If you guys have been watching my channel, you will always know that I will always say if the Nuggets are on and Nikola Jokic is playing, you should at least tune into 5 or 10 minutes because it's a masterclass every time he's on the floor. A big reason the Nuggets won this game is just because their bench and guys outside of Jokic, like I said, were balling out. KCP came in and hit 3 threes in a row. He just turned into an absolute flamethrower. Bones Highland was balling out this game. He had 16 points off the bench. And Zeke Naji, a name that I feel like you guys are going to start hearing a lot more, especially if you're watching Denver Nuggets games. He had 13 points and 6 big rebounds off the bench tonight. I feel like he's someone who, even though he's a little bit undersized, is so very active on the offensive glass. And I feel like every single time the Nuggets came down the floor, there was a lob threat or a wide open 3 or just a wide open mid-range. Like the Nuggets tonight, I cannot express how well I think they played tonight. Obviously, the stat sheet and the scores show it alone. I mean, they shot 85% from the free throw line, almost 40% from 3. They shot 50% from the field goal line, and they netted 16 more rebounds than the Clippers, 4 more assists than the Clippers, and they were just all over the board tonight. If you're a Nuggets fan, this is an excellent win. Obviously, you guys sit as the 1 seed, and the Clippers, they're a little bit more down in the standings, but this does not mean that the Clippers are a team you can just scratch off and write off and be like, oh, we're not going to play as hard tonight. NBA coaches and franchises understand how great this Clippers team can be when they're healthy. Now, obviously, when you look at this Clippers team tonight, they weren't 100% healthy. Paul George did play, but he's still dealing with that hamstring injury, and this is just going to lead me talking about the Clippers. They could not buy a bucket in the first quarter, and honestly, this entire game, they shot a putrid, a Lakers-like 13% from the three-point line. They went 5 for 37. They shot a terrible 72% from the free throw, and they shot a terrible 37% from the field. But something I'd like to point out, and this is kind of touching a little bit on what I said with how you can't write the Clippers off. Even when Kawhi is missing a ton of time and he's missing a lot of shots, he's such an impactful player, and I think it's super interesting how a player of Kawhi's magnitude gets misconstrued by the media, but not by the real NBA players, the guys who have to guard him or be guarded by him. It doesn't matter if he's on a minute restriction or he's having a low scoring season. The real NBA players and coaches understand how great he is. They understand that no matter what, on any given night, this guy can go for 30 and give you mid-range bucket after mid-range bucket and then defend your best player. I mean, he doesn't have the highest win percentage in NBA regular season history for no reason. If you guys are wondering, it's 74%. The media can say whatever they want, but the players and coaches understand how great this man Kawhi Leonard truly is. I mean, he's a generational talent. Even obviously on a night like tonight, he didn't really show up that much. He only had 6 points, 2 assists, and 3 rebounds, and he got pulled pretty much right. I'm pretty sure all the starters got pulled in the third quarter because once it's a 40-point game, I mean, barring a miracle and a crazy bench run, there's nothing you can really do. Guys like Terrence Mann and Norman Powell and Moses Brown, they were having some good games off the bench tonight, but these are just games where you take the loss and understand how you're just going to move forward for the next day, and you can't really hang your head too low and pretend like it's the end of the world, because at the end of the day, it's a regular season game. And when you have guys like Reggie Jackson and Luke Kennard, who's a career 40% three-point shooter, missing a ton of open threes, it's not like the Clippers were taking bad shots, but like I said, they were just missing them and they could not buy a bucket early. In the first quarter, they shot 1 for 11 from 3, while the Nuggets shot 6 for 12 from downtown. It's just when the numbers are that far apart, you know it's going to be a long night and a long game, and one that you're probably not going to win. I do have to give my flowers though to, like I said, Terrence Mann. He gave some great energy off the bench, and Ivica Zubac played some great defense tonight. Obviously the scoreboard does not show it, but if you're watching the game, he had a couple pretty good blocks and definitely got the crowd lit up. One thing I'd like to note is playing on the road in Denver when you're 5,280 feet above, in that altitude, it is a little different, and Denver definitely has a home court advantage, but that is no excuse to get blown out by 30. I'm really excited to see how the Clippers are going to rebuttal and bounce back in their next matchup against the squad. I feel like the Clippers just need to continue to play their brand of basketball where they just need to make the playoffs. They don't need to worry about being a 1, a 2, a 3, or even a 4 seed. They just need to make the playoffs and be healthy, and this team with under head coach Ty Lue, they can do great things. They're finally starting to get healthy. I'm really excited to see the diverse lineups kind of start spreading out, because a lineup I'd like to see is when Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and Robert Covington are on the floor. They've only played a total of 4 minutes together this season, and lineups like Kawhi Leonard, Luke Kennard, and Paul George have only played 40 minutes this season. So once this team, and not only Kawhi and Paul George, we're talking, like I said, the bench players like Luke Kennard and Robert Covington and Norman Powell, like these guys all need to be healthy if this is going to be a championship team. Obviously the Clippers, they're one of the most deep teams in the NBA, but the Nuggets, their depth and starting power just showed out tonight in a way that you cannot be seen unless you actually watch this game. But what do you guys think? Are the Nuggets looking like the championship favorites, and is a win like this a big deal? Let me know in the comments below. If you guys made it this far, I appreciate you guys as always, and remember to leave your hot takes in the comments down below if you want to be featured in the next video. Hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. Peace.